Welcome back to another instalment of the Global Sport in Colour Sports Magazine show. I'm here with Rodney Hines and Michael Facey. Rodney, sports editor of the Voice newspaper, you should already know by now. Michael Facey is the owner proprietor of Nothing Long Sports. How's it going, gentlemen? First one of the year.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
Belatedly.
Yeah, Merry New Year, Merry New Year to everybody out there. It's great to be back, but we're going to go in straight on a pretty sad note, really. Pretty sombre point to kick off with, and that was Cyrille Regis, who passed away this week. R.I.P. Thoughts and prayers are with the family. I guess it'd be remiss of us not to talk about how much of a influence Cyrille was in our lives individually. We know what he did, for everybody else, and the outpouring of grief and some of the things that people have had to say across the media, family, friends, has been quite touching. Rodney, I know you had a better relationship with Cyrille than I did.
Absolute shocker, really. But as you said, there has been the outpouring of emotion and tributes normally tells you how special somebody is. Do you know what I mean? And it has been extremely special for Cyrille and the family this week. And obviously in The Voice, our coverage says we'll miss you, Cyrille. Simple as that. We've gone also with farewell to a legend. It says it all.
Great stuff.
On our news pages and on our sports pages as well, we've gone with a true pioneer. So I think that really says it all.
Truly.
There'll be more of that to come.
The coverage, just for those who haven't been able to tune into thevoice-online.co.uk, the coverage has been great.
Yeah, and everyone's wanted to be part of it. An old mate of mine of our Scotty Field, formerly at the FA, now at the British Olympic Association. One is a lifelong West Brom fan, formerly the press officer at West Brom. And his tribute, which is online and in the paper this week, just really sums it up.
It did touch me actually when I read that.
Football was made for people like Cyrille Regis, I think he said, or something to that effect. On a personal
Football
level,
wouldn't be football without
it wouldn't be
Cyrille.
football without Cyrille. On a personal basis, massive miss. And we're watching and talking about football in 2018 and beyond as we go forward, but this is an original pioneer.
Yeah.
The Lukakus, the Rashfords of this world, any striker of any colour, with all due respect, has to pay homage to Cyrille Regis. Had it all, left foot, right foot, could head, and one of the pieces in the paper is from Les Ferdinand, and he was touched. Now there's an iconic player in his own right, saying to me that when he first saw Cyrille, he was in awe, and said that is the standard of number 9. So that says it all, really.
Michael?
Yeah, no, I can only echo what Rodney said. And for me, I grew up at the tail end watching Cyrille through football and beyond, because he was, for me, it was history for me at that point, where it was like, okay, it's history. And as you get older, you start to realise the doors that have been opened.
Absolutely.
I read a quote the other day, and it was a Cyrille quote, and he said, I'm now starting to accept that me, Justin, Fashanu are pioneers of the game, and that's another one that's gone as well. So to speak, so slowly but surely, it's only now as you get older, you're starting to realise that, like Rodney said, half the guys that we're appreciating today would not be there because of these guys.
Agreed.
Or had at least a standard to aim for. And I think obviously what we do in today's football, we base a lot on money, don't we?
Yeah.
And I had a discussion with a few people and said, what would Cyrille, with all of his ability, be worth in the current transfer market? And I kid you not, the figure was 90 to at least 100 million, because he could do it all. Pace, power, left foot, right foot, head. And you take that to one side. We were all together with him at the Blacklist, which was there to recognise his contribution to the game. We all saw him. He was thoroughly modest, which is always his way. He looked so healthy, and a little bit fazed by all the attention that night. But that's why the Blacklist seeks to exist.
To be honest,
people can come together.
I've met him at a couple of Blacklists. And in fact, if it wasn't for the Blacklist, I might not have met him. Because his presence in the game is huge, as we know. But he's so humble, you don't really see him. You don't really. He's not around like that, trying to kind of show everybody about him or what he's done and who he is and all the rest of it. And he'll be a sore miss.
Yes,
So
indeed.
for all those connected, once again, thoughts and prayers with the family. and R.I.P. Cyrille Regis. Sticking with football, but moving on. What are we most interested in at the moment? Transfers.
Got to be the
Transfer windows.
Well, I'm interested in the transfer window.
I bet you are.
I am.
I'm the selling club. He's the buying club.
Well, and we're not involved for once.
You don't buy players, do you?
Well, we do, but just not for astronomical fees.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got a stadium to build.
What's been the biggest surprise so far, Michael? We'll start with you.
It has to be, for me, it is Sanchez United, to be honest. That one
Ain't happened yet, is it?
No, it ain't happened. But that one there, just to know that City have pulled out in a deal that looked like it was in place over 12 months ago.
Why did City pull out?
I couldn't tell you. It can't be for the fee. There's no
nothing
way
to
they
do with
could.
the fee.
There's no way they could. I think.
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, I was privileged enough to be at Anfield for the
Humdinger.
the humdinger against Man City. So I did the press conference straight after, and obviously Guardiola was asked about it. I got the impression that he felt that where City were, 15 points clear as it was at the time, Jesus, who got injured at Palace, which sparked the fact that they might need a striker. Now is going to come back sooner than they thought. They were prepared to pay 60 million in the summer, and they don't think now.
As on the last day.
They don't think now they have to go there.
Right.
But they were looking to see him at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Like you said, and it was only because of the injury that they were like, we might need him now, but we're only willing to pay X amount.
Yeah.
So it could be all of those little things.
He's
there.
29 years old.
Market forces, though.
A lot of money.
Virgil van Dijk, 75 million.
I was going to say not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Well, when clubs are giving over 30s 1 year at a time contracts, it's a lot of money.
He's got at least 4 years in him.
And your club do that.
I think
know.
I saw something in all the sort of media talk about the proposed move of Sanchez to Man United, and it said, great move, Sanchez, for Mourinho, but maybe for not Manchester United at a football club, based on his age
and the finances
and the finances that go with it.
I mean, if Jose's got a track record of anything, he gets older players going, right? So he's able to get the best out of older players, even at a time in their career when maybe you might have thought, they're done, they're finished. So I think he could definitely look after him for the next few years. So I think it'll be a benefit to Man United long term. And good for Lukaku, who is their future, right?
Yeah.
He's going to be there
And
for
Rashford. Who's got another mentor to...
Definitely.
And you know what? Let's have it right. Sanchez could do, let's say, 24 months at United, and that's good enough for the club.
Good enough. In the short term.
In the short term.
In the short term, with Rashford again, the heir to the throne, as we keep saying.
In the short term.
I mean, I've watched and had the privilege of watching Alexis Sanchez at Arsenal, and what you will get there, I think, as we've all seen, is a hard-working player.
Yeah.
That when he's on song, he's virtually untouchable.
Even when he doesn't want to play football, he still looks like.
And he's an artist, and he'll be playing at the Theatre of Dreams now. At arguably the biggest club in the world. I think he'll add something special.
So what's wrong with Arsene Wenger, Rodney? Why is he selling it? Why is he selling his best player to a rival? And he's done that before, and it landed with egg on his face.
I think you'll need more than this podcast to answer that one. I think it's a historical scenario. I think that the Arsenal hierarchy, and I don't think it just rests with Wenger, have got themselves in a malaise that once again has ended up with you strengthening a direct rival. And we talk about Van Persie all day long there. So I think what you're having at Arsenal now, and I say it to all Arsenal fans, is that it might have to get backwards or sideways to get a little bit better.
I've got a question though to you. What do you think Arsenal should do in that case? Say, because ultimately Sanchez is running down his contract either way.
Well, about 60% of that first team squad.
So either way, they're going to go to a rival if the rival wants them at the end of their contract.
At the end of the season,
you either take the money, and put it back into the club if that's what they do. Or you just let him run it down, and then he's going to go to a rival anyway. I mean, as a businessman, I'm taking the money.
I think as a businessman, and Arsenal have always been judged by their business ethics. I don't think you could let Ozil and Sanchez both go for zero in the summer. That doesn't make any business sense. So, I think Ozil will stay. I think he'll have improved terms and he'll get what he needs and could really be the catalyst to whatever the next gen of Arsenal is. I just think that I get the impression that Arsenal won't be in this situation again. I think with the players that are currently leaving the club literally every day, I think that the new the new boys on the block, for the want of a better term, have come in and said, you know what? No, it's not. Where we want to be isn't going to happen with that squad. But funny enough, Arsenal fans have been saying that for a few years now, myself included.
And right now in this current situation, if you look at the club, Man United ain't their direct rivals. Their direct rivals for me are 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th down there.
Wow.
At this moment in time.
Yeah, that's fine.
At this moment in
That's
time.
fine.
So.
That's a horrible demise. Given if you take as gospel what you said, Arsenal are known for their financial, you know,
Bank of England club.
yeah, their clout, the way that they've carried themselves in the last 10 years. Why are they messing with clubs down there? Like, where's the money gone?
Where's it gone?
You know, and I know that's the age-old question for Arsenal fans, and I don't know. I don't really.
I think what makes Arsenal in their current situation a great story is that out of the top 6 clubs, for example, they've not had this drama before. Just think about it. It's the one last bastion of the Premier League that's not had this nonsense. City had no money 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Now they have money. Man United under Sir Alex was seamless. Then the David Moyes era came in, 3 seasons or 2 seasons of madness. Liverpool, with all due respect, have been out to grass for a little while, but you can see they're on the cusp of something right now. Chelsea have won trophies despite the turmoil, which makes them unique. The one club that had some stability about them is now embroiled in its own fight for sorting itself out.
And it all coincides with the leaving, the manager leaving.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like a messy end. Really.
Yeah, it's a messy end to a legacy that sadly should have been shiny bright, but has now got tarnished because a lot of the players, Coquelin, Walcott, the Ox, that he put a lot of faith into, have never delivered and are now being
12
farmed
years,
out.
Walcott.
Theo Walcott's been at Arsenal for 12 years,
won a title.
and with all due respect, if you did a straw poll at the next home game, the vast majority would not miss him as a footballer, but miss him as a person who was always nice and said the
It's
right
been part of the
things.
furniture, isn't
Yeah,
it?
and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Probably got a better
The
England
furniture now has so much dust on it, you can't recognise
Do you
it.
know, it's funny because we always talked about the Alex Ferguson era and how he managed that club and some of the ups and downs that he had, the way he's managed players, won titles and all the rest of it. And it was clearly obvious he could see the demise of that squad the year that, you know, he left, right?
Still was good enough to make it win a title and then
Well, he made the shrewd move of buying Van Persie the season before he left,
Yeah.
and that was the difference, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That was-
Because that's what he said. That his quotes were, it was, they lost the league the year before due to goal difference. He said that's never happening again. So what I'm going to do is buy that top goal scorer the year before, which was Van Persie at the time.
I think all the top clubs, top 6 clubs, and Arsenal are probably 6th of those 6 now. If you look at it, they've all made big decisions and the right decisions on time. That's the difference. You know, Guardiola comes in and says, England #1? No, not with me. Yeah, and I bought in another goalkeeper called Bravo. I don't like you either. I've now got what I need. Yaya Toure, sit down because we can't quite find common ground. And Samir Nasri, you might have been great before I arrived and got a title. I don't want you now. Big decisions. Pochettino does the same thing. Conte does it, and as I say, Chelsea are slightly different because even despite the turmoil, they win Champions Leagues and titles. You know, I mean, listen, I've just got to pay homage to what Jurgen Klopp's doing right now because I've been there now. I will return there before the end of the season, and I can see
like it over there,
something happening.
It's brewing, yeah.
And if they were
were
to finish 2nd in the league, don't be surprised.
Is it brewing a la Rafa Benitez?
It's better than that.
Is it?
It's better than that, yeah. It's better than that.
They can't defend. 75 million for VVD. We're on a transfer window talk, and do post and comment and let's hear what you think.
Involved.
Yeah, because 75 mil for VVD.
Going rate, Tom.
Who the hell? Like, what's going on?
Going rate.
What's going on? It's not the going rate.
It is.
It's not. It's not.
What was Walker?
He's 25 mil
What
more.
was
50
Walker?
mil. He's 25 mil more expensive than anybody else.
Yeah.
Now. Because he got bought now during this
Walker
period.
only got bought 4 months ago.
No,
5 months ago.
It's different this summer, and then you've got the
Tone, I mean,
the winter break.
4 months ago they won 60 for Sanchez. Now they don't win.
What you have as a scenario, you just said they couldn't defend.
Couldn't defend.
Now, you must remember there was a faux pas over this Van Dijk move a few months back.
They got slapped down.
They got slapped down. So guess what? Southampton as a selling club said, you know what? We don't know what the fee was prior to the 75 million, but if it was 50 million, which would still have been a lot of money,
for him,
you have to pay a little bit more now.
Yeah.
You want him,
And
you
it's
want
in the
you want
season.
him to fill a void that you clearly need to
You
fill.
need.
They got held over a barrel because they knew, Southampton knew there was 150 mil coming from the Coutinho.
I was just saying-
And I was going to say the Coutinho money.
got hold
The
of-
Coutinho money.
Liverpool, you've been done.
No,
I don't
but
care
then-
how effective he is for you. 75 mil is way too much for him.
Well, you know.
Way too much. I don't.
If they
No,
win-
it's
if
like no
they-
one's not
if
saying
they-
it as
If they
well.
win the Champions League, it's money well spent.
If
Yeah, and I tell you what, they're going to be right there in the shake-up.
I don't know,
Right there
'cause
in the
Klopp
shake-up.
doesn't change his tactics.
No,
I
no,
don't
yeah,
know.
but that's why he's saying they'll be in the shake-up, right? Because those tactics there, if they can derail Man City, and Man City look better
They
than most
derailed
teams.
Man City, and I think I got the vibe while I was there. So it's just 3 points at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's what extra it
It's the
gives
energy,
you,
it's the
that
energy.
belief that
Yeah,
you can beat
yeah.
arguably the best team in Europe,
Yeah, they were the.
as in beating Man City.
Yeah, no, I totally hear what you're
That's
saying.
what
They
And
were
they've got
missing
ex-
David Silva that day, though. I just thought I'd let everyone know.
And Silva
And that,
is-
that was
is-
a really important
no,
piece to
it's-
that puzzle.
Definitely, I agree. I agree with that.
Liverpool were missing Philip Coutinho, who
Yeah.
does for Liverpool what
I mean-
Silva does for City.
All right, listen, that's
It was a great
fair,
game.
fair.
All I'm
Fair
saying, I just get the impression, Liverpool are on something special.
I mean, listen, if they get it right, it's another team in the mix. That's for me,
They've
that's good
got
for the game.
to play Tottenham, I think, first weekend in February
Who?
at Anfield, Liverpool.
At Anfield.
At Anfield.
You sound like
And I'll tell you what,
He sounds nervous.
I tell you what, if I can't attend that game myself,
Yeah.
I'll make sure I'm watching it live.
Nah, you can
because
go.
that will give us another indicator as to where Liverpool and Tottenham are.
Yeah,
Direct
definitely.
rivals.
I know, they
Tottenham have been
they've
quiet,
done-
but just been getting on with their business.
No,
quietly.
not quietly. You know, like when I had a look at the fixtures back in the last year, and I could see there was going to be a run of games, so we should nick all the points, right? The anomaly was West Ham. We should have beat them. 30 odd shots on target. Didn't happen. They scored a humdinger. You was there, Rods. 1-1. Spoils. And then Man City beat us. Other than that, we should get 3 points all the way up to the end of the month. Liverpool was going to be an interesting game at Anfield because we destroyed them
You did.
at Wembley.
You won't destroy them at Wembley.
Well, I don't know.
We were both at that Wembley game, and
Lovren weren't on it.
Lovren weren't at it.
He
They
weren't
got
at it.
VV now.
All I'm saying, I don't know what the result's going to be, but it's going to be a fantastic
good
game
game.
of football.
Yeah, big game. They normally do us up there, so I'm not totally expecting my team to go and change that
Part
dynamic.
bus, innit?
But they're a direct rival now.
We don't have no bus.
They're a direct rival now.
I know they're a problem.
They are.
They're a problem.
They're a
Yeah,
problem.
they're a problem.
They're the reason why
Yeah,
it's
they're joint
6
third, right?
into 4.
They're joint third.
Joint-
As I said,
Joint third.
I'll put my little 10p on them to finish second in the league.
Not over us.
Ooh.
That's fine. It's fine.
Not, especially if we
Big-
get Sanchez. Not
big-
over us.
Where are you going to finish, Rods?
Sixth.
Wow.
Not fifth.
Nah.
Who's five? Who's five?
Yes,
would
you're
be-
saying Bias, be Tottenham.
Tottenham, wouldn't it? Yeah. Chelsea.
Oh,
Arsenal right
Yeah,
now
you lot are
on
three
many
points.
levels are not in the same shake-up. And it's funny, even the top 6 has got divisions within it. Doesn't make sense. You've got runaway leaders.
Yeah.
Who's going to finish second? United on a great run, but I think Liverpool
No,
will get
Liverpool-
themselves together. The one team I could probably see dropping down the league is Chelsea.
At the moment, because of the way the manager seems to be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
handling the club, he's not happy. I don't know him personally, and please,
But you do the
please, Antonio.
You do
I know
the
you got a good memory, and you're not going to forget about certain things. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
But I just don't. I'm not sure. Something down there doesn't seem quite right in it, and I'm, I don't know if they're going to finish in the top 4 either. We'll have to
Maybe not.
see.
Maybe
We'll
not.
have to see. Listen, before we drag out this section too long, who needs what?
I think Sanchez is our piece of the puzzle.
What do you need?
New manager.
Tottenham,
be honest, I'm not
Tottenham
really
are all right as well. We need another Harry Kane just to give Harry Kane a rest.
If he does get injured, touch wood for you,
Yeah.
then what? How does that?
It's happened before in the last 2 seasons, and I keep saying to people we've coped without him. So we'll cope without him again. We've got Llorente on the bench. Son chips in
Son
whenever
chips
he's not
in.
ready.
You see,
Lamella's
this is-
fine.
Son does
I
chip
could
in.
knock him out sometimes because another good friend of his bigged up Son yesterday.
Yeah.
I've been bigging Son up forever. He has the temerity to mention Llorente and then say that Son chips
Yeah,
in.
the Son chips in, but he plays it every game.
Outrageous.
And notches.
Absolutely.
Son, if you're watching,
outrageous.
Quite rude,
you're doing a great job, man.
quite rude, really.
This is obviously you're not.
He's just not having it.
He's not a
He's just not
striker.
having
He's
it.
not a striker. He's not a striker. He's great in front.
If he's not a striker, he must have something close to 10 Premier League goals.
No,
Forget the other stuff.
He scored.
I mean, Spain showed us we don't need strikers.
Let him stay
Just
as
say
not
it.
a striker then.
No,
If
listen,
he becomes a striker,
I'm happy.
he
might
won't
not-
score any
might not
goals.
score
Chips
any
in.
goals.
I'm happy.
One day you're going to see the light.
I'm happy.
Someone's gonna come in for him.
Let's have a look at the games this weekend. Rods, what's the highlight game this weekend? Stand-up
I
picture.
don't know anymore.
It doesn't matter.
I tell you what I think will be a standout
Go
game
on.
is actually Arsenal Palace.
There.
And you'd have to put a little change on Palace. Coming
Palace,
to the
yeah.
Emirates, an improving team, with pace and power over its own.
Big up Roy
And
Hodgson.
but boy.
Yeah.
Boy.
Boy.
Yeah, I think
Boy.
that's a standout game for me.
You had a look at the
I ain't
picture.
even had a look at
Yeah,
the
no,
picture.
look,
No,
this
no,
is-
no. I'm still in midweek.
who have Brighton got this weekend? Rods, I was meant to be down at that game.
Chelsea.
Massive for them.
Yeah, massive game. It's not a
Massive.
game Brighton will win.
Massive for them.
not
Could be a draw, though.
Nah,
They've
won't
got
be
to
a
start winning games though.
Got
Rodney.
to. They don't score enough goals.
Yeah.
Hence the talk about Moussa Dembele from Celtic. But that was 30 million. And I think where Brighton are right now, and I've had the privilege of watching them down there a few times. Great approach work. He's got them playing.
Yeah.
They can't finish.
Yeah.
And this is why generally when we talk about football, we talk about strikers, don't
Yeah,
we?
yeah.
With the exception of Van Dijk for 75 million. Because it's the hardest thing to do in the game, but it's the most important thing to do in the game. And right now, Brighton just don't score enough goals. And with Palace going that way now, West Ham going that way now, even West Brom got a win, ironically, against Brighton
Bournemouth
last
got a
week.
win against you,
Bournemouth got a win again. Right now, Huddersfield and Brighton are going the other way.
Yeah.
And the difference
After good starts.
if you look in that Brighton team, they don't have, for example, a
Who'd you
Benteke,
pull out?
a
Yeah,
Townsend,
that's right.
a Zaha,
That's
who
right.
can just make that difference. And I fear for them a little bit.
Yeah, that's
I fear for them a little bit.
Hopefully they'll be active in the transfer window. Look out for those games this weekend. Right, let's keep it moving very, very quickly because we've had a big stint on boxing this weekend. On football this week. I don't want to talk too much about the boxing, but obviously big fight announced this week. Anthony Joshua versus Parker from New Zealand. Both champions, both undefeated. Great. Natural unification bout. Natural.
I've got nothing to say on it, but exactly that. It's a great unification bout. AJ should see his way through, and then on to the next, really.
Yeah, I don't know too much about Parker. I mean, the little bit I do know, people suggest that it won't be a walkover. He'll be ugly, scruffy, and say all the right things beforehand. You'd expect AJ to take care of business and then move on to the ones that we really want. Fury seems to be getting closer, and Wilder's always in the background. So for me, AJ job to do in Wales again, isn't it?
Yeah, Prince Harry.
Yeah, good luck to that one.
Press conference was jokes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, the press
It
conference
was.
was
I mean, AJ seems to be, for me, evolving and coming out of his show a bit more, talking a bit more, taking the lead a bit more, which I like. So good luck to him, man. Hopefully he walks through this and does that. What would it be? His 21st fight?
Yeah.
So to unify in his 21st fight is a big
That's
thing.
a good shout.
I noticed that they're quoting the IBO title now.
Oh yeah, the one that's sitting on the.
Well, the one that Eubank had that everyone was dissing,
nobody cares about.
and no one cared about, but now it's all right.
Even though Chris said that actually
Yeah.
will make the belt relevant.
How about it was relevant back
And
in the
but
day
it was
as well.
relevant,
Anyway, I just thought I'd throw that one out there. Dillian Whyte fights Lucas Browne in March as well. Big fight
Great
for
fight.
Big fight for Dillian.
Great fight for
Even bigger fight for Lucas.
Main reason I hate Lucas Browne is he called me an orangutan. I don't care. I believe in equality amongst people. You don't call a black man an orangutan. I don't care whether it's a joke, are you with your mates, or whatever. I don't care about any of that. That's very disrespectful, and I take that personally. And for that, Lucas Browne will pay. I will knock Lucas Browne out.
Basically, I said he's got long arms.
Right.
That was the whole thing. So
He said you compared him to an orangutan.
it was in regards to the picture of a orangutan,
Right.
exactly. Yeah. So it was probably poor taste in my looking at it. But again, he's taken something very small and just blown it out of proportion. Which again, he has to do that to sell the fight. I understand that. But again, I do take offence to that because I'm the furthest from a racist you could probably think of. So yeah.
What was your answer? You were saying you got a Jamaican girlfriend, is that what it is? And
Yeah, I've actually grown up in Western Sydney, so I was the only white boy in the primary school, all that sort of thing. All my friends are either Arabic or Pacific Islander.
Right.
I married a Filipino girl, so my kids are half Asian. My current missus is Jamaican. I've been with her for 6 years.
Have you been to Jamaica?
No, I've been to Virgin Islands, but not Jamaica.
Close.
Yeah, that's right.
don't suppose you know much about Lucas Browne, do you, Russ?
No, I asked you about him when I do, but it seems like there's a bit of needle there.
Bit of tension.
Everything Dillian seems to be involved in.
You know what? Though? He's been calling every name under the sun, and nobody's actually stepped up to the plate to fight Dillian, and he deserves it.
Do you know what Dillian needs to keep doing for me? Just keep winning.
Yeah.
Just keep winning.
I mean, he's
keep
ranked
doing your basics.
He's ranked by everybody who matters. He's ranked number 1 by the WBC.
Number 1 contender, isn't it?
Yeah, he's the guy right now that quite frankly is exposing the heavyweight division in the world.
So what he doesn't want to do in a fight that he should win is slip up.
No,
and
see,
then
this is what makes this fight dangerous.
And make all that good work disappear when he could be see this one through, do what he needs to do. He could be on to something big.
We follow him on
Instagram.
Instagram. Boy trains hard, man.
The funny thing about this, he does train hard. They all train hard. But the funny thing about this fight is that I think it's the type of fight that will make Dillian look good and make fans love him for the reason they love him anyway. He will take it on, fight anyone. He's involved in wars and scraps. So look out for that one next month. There's a couple other fights that are going to be happening before that. Obviously, Groves takes on Eubanks Jr., but we'll talk about that one next week. But for the first, podcast back in 2018, I want to say thanks to my co-hosts. Thanks to you guys for supporting, and we'll see you next week.